That's it.
Oh, all right. Welcome to Gab Jam, episode 171. Oh my goodness.
So, let me just say this. That's like one of the first songs I ever wrote in my life.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like I grabbed up an acoustic guitar.
How old were you?
I was probably between 12 and 13.
Oh.
So.
It was baby Bruce.
That was it. So,
crazy about you, baby.
Crazy about you, baby. I couldn't play anything else, but I could do that.
Aww, very sweet. All right, we're at episode 171. The question today is, am I a procrastinator but don't know it?
That's right.
All right, so again, you guys know that I love listening to other creative podcasts, and so of course this was inspired by Creative Pep Talk, episode 294. But the quote that he said that inspired the idea for this is, "You spend your life doing what you spend your days doing."
Right.
And so we know, you got the bills, you got the kids, you got the boss.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to create something, bring something into the world. You wanted to express your creativity. Are you procrastinating doing what you said you were going to do?
Yeah, a lot of times what we try to do is we claim we want to make sure that we have everything right. To do that thing that we plan to do. Right. So it's like, I'm just looking for the perfect situation, and I'm just waiting on this, just waiting on all the stars to kind of line up.
When I have time, when I have money, when I'm not so busy, when, whatever. Just all of those things.
Yeah, they're looking for that perfect moment in order to do whatever it is. Travel, adventurous, whatever it is. You're just waiting on all these things to line up. And so many times what starts to happen is that some of the most, consequential things that happen in our lives are just things we never planned.
Yeah.
And things that we just never anticipated. Yeah. And then all of those things start to take up our life.
Yeah.
And that thing that we claimed that we wanted to do never actually becomes a part of it.
Yeah. It's really sad. And that's one of Les Brown's thing, that people are dead long before they put the toe tag on them. Yeah. And we don't want you to have that. I know for us, I for sure wasted too much time doing some of the things that I'm gonna ask you guys if you're doing. So, and of course the past few years we have been on fire like a rocket, because we're not wasting any more time. This is it. You live in it now. This is all you got promised. Yeah. So these are the 4 questions that you should be asking yourself to find out if you're procrastinating as a DIY rock star.
That's right.
All right. So the first question is, what are you making time for?
Yeah.
So what is going on in your life that you cannot take the time to find joy to build your legacy? What is it?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think I perusing TikTok, and I saw this video of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he was talking about this little lick he came up with, and he said, I was just, sitting, watching TV with the sound down with my guitar, and that's how I kind of came up with that lick. And when he said that, to actually say I had something in common with the late, great Stevie Ray Vaughan, I was like, hey, I do that too. Now, nobody knows my licks, but still, we connected on that.
Right.
So that's the whole thing of when you start thinking about, and what do I do in my time? And I think that's, for me, it's like watching TV is usually a time for me where I'm going to multitask. And so I'm going to multitask and I'm going to be writing songs while I'm doing that. And I probably do it more now than ever before because now I have a laptop, that's in the same room where I'm watching television.
Right.
So the ideas, as they come through, I can mute the television. I can just say, okay, I'm going to put this idea down and start working on this thing. And so sometimes I'm working on songs simultaneously. Like I'm doing 1 or 3 while I'm doing that. Then I might be working on one actually in the studio.
Right.
So just kind of multitasking and doing it whenever I get gaps in time and whenever the inspiration hits me is to give way to that inspiration.
Yeah.
So I guess instead of always trying to find that optimal moment where I can say, okay, I need like 12 hours where I can set aside to just sit and work on a song.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you. The unexpected always shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you give yourself the 12 hours. So you give yourself that 12 hours, you get ready to work, you have some computer issue.
Yeah.
That gobbles up 7 of your hours.
We talked about that, about the upgrade becoming the downgrade.
And that kind of, it just always happens.
Right.
So kind of waiting for that perfect moment is not the thing you want to do. When they talk about that 10,000 hours to get great at something, it's not that you kind of have this period of time in your life where you say, okay, I'm going to reserve these 10,000 hours that I can just spend doing just this one thing.
Yeah.
It's a cumulative.
Right.
It's in aggregate.
Yeah.
And so, it's 15 minutes here. It's, another 10 minutes here. Another 5 minutes here. That's the way it is. It's an aggregated type of effort that you put towards doing something, but cumulatively it comes up to that 10,000.
Yeah, that's one of the points that the Every Day is Saturday, another podcast I listen to. That's what he was saying, is that most people say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to travel, I'm going to learn the guitar, I'm going to, whatever it is that they want to do, I'm going to write my book, I'm going to, and he says, that the statistics say that people live an average of 11 years after retirement. And he's like, okay, so you're going to fit a whole lifetime's worth of activities into 11 years. So you're making it seem like your health is going to be great. There not going to be any other issues. You're assuming you're going to have people to do it with because, as time goes on, we lose people that we had thought were going to be a part of some of these experiences.
That's true.
So again, it's about taking the moments. And I always say my new thing is stopping to plan, so that I can say, okay, today, did you? To be aware, like the habit tracking type of thing. Did you do whatever it is today? And if I haven't, then, okay, maybe I can stop right now. Or, 5 minutes from now and take, 10 minutes and do something related to what I said I wanted to do. The things that are going to make me feel, passionate about getting up out of bed, about jumping out of bed.
Yeah.
Instead of working for somebody else, I'm working for me.
Right.
All right, so the second question to ask yourself to find out if you are procrastinating as a DIY rock star is, are you a worthy participant? And we talked about this before, this was me for a few years. If you never sit down to write a song, are you still a songwriter?
Right.
If you're a person who paints, if you never take the time to produce anything, are you still a painter?
Right.
Or are you you have the idea that you're whatever it is?
Right.
So you do have to, again, make it something where you actually produce something. It may not be something that people see. That's fine. That's a decision you have to make, but at least sitting down to practice.
Yes.
Because practicing that will help make you better at that, and then you'll, again, be proud of it.
And I'll be honest with you, I have that same issue. So meaning that, and I think for me, I've just been conditioned to give way to the muse. So there's a lot of times when, I'm like, this is a practice moment. This is time for me to work on scales or work on this or work on whatever. And so I'm in the middle of doing that, but then an idea hits.
Oh, wow.
And it's sort of like, okay, first and foremost, I write songs.
Right.
So when ideas come, it's time to let that go.
Right.
And let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening now. Let's go down this rabbit hole. And it's like every time, I'm always open for the spark.
Receiving.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. You try to allow God to walk into the room. You've always got to leave room in your life for spontaneity. And I think that's the same way it is with plans.
Yeah,
I tend to plan
true.
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I might plan up to 70%.
Yeah.
And then I'll let the other 30%, I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that other 30% be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I've always found that when I try to plan things 100%, it never works out that way anyway.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that I'm slow to improvise.
Right.
Because I don't realize that this is not going to plan. Whereas if I leave room for that, if I leave room for the unexpected, then I also leave room for spontaneity and improvisation.
Yeah. And then also what I find is that in that improvisation, that's the spending time with family.
Yes.
I know that ends up being... our son likes to watch NASCAR. Maybe I'll let him have the TV, and I'll actually, kind of watch with him. So that's like, some bonding time. Or when our daughter's home, maybe she wants to watch some Netflix show that we've never heard of and didn't care about before. Yeah. But this is kind of our time. Because, they're grown and pretty soon they won't be hanging around as much. Right. So this is the time that you get to spend with them. Right.
And sometimes you can multitask. I mean, I in those moments. Yeah. I got that guitar in my hand sometimes. Yeah. It's like I do that. I know like we have relatives that had guitars, stuff like that. I would come over there, I'm visiting with them. Yeah. If there's a guitar in the house, what am I doing? I'm gonna grab that guitar. That's right. Right. I'm gonna start playing this guitar. I'm gonna start messing around with something. And every now and then there's something that's there, and it's like, this can be a song. Yeah. This is an idea. I remember that. So I mean, again, it's kind of trying to stay as open as you can to the muse, so you understand that, hey, at least I feel like that way. Since I was 13 or whatever, 12, for as long as I can remember, I've always written songs. I can't think of a time in my life where I did not write.
Yeah, and that's true. After we had kids, just everything, just always, Right,
and that's just what I do.
Yeah. And so you always stay topped off, but it was me. I was over thinking, and I'm waiting for breaks and waiting for the day off and all that, because and it wasn't happening. So now it's a part of my daily, weekly, all the time kind of practice. So all right, so the third question to ask yourself to find out if you're a procrastinator but don't know it, and you're a DIY rock star, are you a part of your own solution? Yeah. When you realize what, the problems are, because we all have problems. You're going to have problems. Right. No matter who you are, you're going to have problems. So the question is, there's always this elusive they. Yeah. They won't let me. Yeah. Or the kids, they're too noisy or whatever it is. Right. There's always a problem. So what is your solution? Be a part of your own solution. Yeah. Because that will empower you, and it actually will feed you and fuel you to go do more. Right. Yeah. So,
And I know, too, another thing that people are always waiting on, the masterpiece. Meaning that you feel like, once I get this time and I can just put it into it, then I'm going to craft that masterpiece. Yeah. And so you might be waiting and waiting and waiting for that masterpiece. But I keep going back to this point where, I think it was Eddie Floyd Jr. and I went to go see this attorney, and he asked a question because we were asking about songs that we were going to let him shop for us. Mm-hmm. We're like, a copyright thing, somebody's stealing your song. He said, well, let me ask you a question. Are you an oil well or are you a Crisco can? Right. If you're a Crisco can, you need to hold on to these things as tightly as you can. Right, because limited supply. You should be worried about that, But if you're an oil well, what are you worried about? Right. There's plenty where that came from. Once he said that, I was like, I'm an oil well. Right. What's up with an oil well? Take them. So that was a whole different outlook for me. And I say that to say that I don't put pressure on songs to be masterpieces. Mm-hmm. I let them be what they are. Yeah. Maybe the majority of them suck. I don't know. I'm writing them for what comes out of me. So, I like them. Right. But, I don't know what that means for everybody else, but I just let them be what they are.
And I was about to say, curiously, we've talked about this before, but even on the Sugar Fit album, that when we were, working with partners on, putting it on playlist or putting it on a compilation, they have all picked different songs. Right, yeah. But that's fine. Because it's all us. So, right, yeah. I don't think that's a problem. The main thing is to do what you think is in your heart. You're part of the solution. We could not get the interest that we wanted for the type of music that we wanted. So our solution is to do it ourselves.
Right.
And even for the marketing, I'm now learning email marketing, and I used to feel like that is kind of sucky. And now I'm kind of leaning in and I'm saying, this is a little bit fun. It's a little chance for me to express, the funny, some of the other parts of me that maybe, I haven't expressed,
Right.
Before. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as another chance at creativity now.
Yeah.
But I had to get to this place. But I had to be part of my own solution.
Right.
I can't get somebody else to do it for us. Who gonna do it for us?
That's right.
So that just make sure you're part of the solution.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about what they won't let us do. What are you doing for yourself?
Yeah.
And then finally, this is another one, and I know I'm guilty of this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you constantly making excuses? I know for some people it's like, oh, I don't have the equipment, or oh, I don't have the, there's always a reason.
Right.
For, people ask in some of the Facebook groups, well, I don't have a good camera for making YouTube videos. And my question to you is, almost every 8-year-old in America now has a cell phone.
Yeah.
If you have a smartphone, you have everything you need to get started right here. You can write a book on it and publish it.
Yeah.
You can make videos and publish them. You can make music and distribute it. Everything you need is on that cell phone.
Yeah, and we talked about this before as we were, discussing this whole thing about the music thing. I don't know, and that's why I was telling you that. As far as monetarily and doing music and it being the way that we make our living, we haven't done that part of it. However, as far as just doing music, being productive doing it, regardless of what the medium has been. So whether it was a 4-track cassette, whether it was a 1/4-inch 8-track made by False Text, a 1/2-inch 8-track made by Tascam, 8-acts made by Alesis, using various different samplers for recording, whether it's the SP1200, the Emax, we have every single type of recording medium, the Atari ST computers for sequencing stuff. We have produced music through all of these different periods and using all of these different mediums for doing it.
And I was about to say, and when I met you, even more low tech, I was doing cassette to cassette. I was building tracks on two cassette recorders. So I was making songs. I didn't have a quote unquote studio, and there were no such thing as smartphones.
Right.
But again, if it's something that you want to do, there's really no excuse.
And I've done that same thing too. When that Crazy About Your Baby song, I had that figured out, hey, I was doing this part that was a little bit higher. I was like, wait a minute. I could sing that one part and this other higher part together, and I was like, whoa, I made harmony. So I discovered something by going to cassette to cassette. So that, again, that's...
And now it's easier than ever. So that was in the olden days. That was back in the 80s.
Right. We pressed a record using the Tascam TSR-8. The first record that we ever pressed was done in our basement studio using that. So as the equipment. So, we can do it on that. People now can do that on their phone with GarageBand.
Oh, yeah.
And you got everything that you need. So, you have everything. You have a recording studio.
Yeah.
You actually have a photography studio. You have a video studio.
Yes.
And you have it all on your phone.
Yep. And the information is almost like a university.
You're right.
Because back when we were coming along, I couldn't just YouTube how to make songs with 2 cassettes.
That's
now,
right.
whatever it is,
You have a teacher. Medium, you have all of that. You have your way of mastering. We have to go and get things mastered. So, all of that. So,
So, again, just make sure, if this is something you want to do, if this is going to lead you, if making the art that you want to make is going to lead you to your life dream of your, purpose and passion, then make sure that you are the one that is taking the reins. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to show that you're not a procrastinator? That is my question for today. Normally, I ask you to add a question, but I just want to know, I want to see the work that you guys are creating.
Right.
So make sure you leave us a link. If whatever it is, we will go watch it. We'll go, if it's a song, we'll listen to it. what is your creative passion? What are you creating now? I don't care what form it's in. Drop it in the comments below. We definitely will listen.
Or join up to the Facebook group.
And the Facebook group, be the next DIY Rockstar. Yeah, Facebook group. And then we allow you to share directly onto the wall so that you can share if you're doing streaming, if you have a song up on Spotify, if you have a CD to sell. We've even had a couple comic book makers. I mean, whatever it is that you're doing that expresses that creativity within. Again, this is all about us, taking charge of our creative life, not sitting around and waiting.
And we drop a link to that on this video so that then you can just click over. So if you want, you can respond here, or you can go ahead and respond over there. Join up over there and respond there. Okay.
I love it. Yeah. And you guys know what's going on.
Always going to be SugarFit. We were just talking about this. So SugarFit is available. You can get the CD if you want through CD Baby. You can also ask us for it. You can get it through Bandcamp. And also you can stream it everywhere. So anywhere that you stream, you can stream SugarFit. And if you're interested in the vinyl, we have a Patreon page. So putting that together, it will be a 2-disc set, because there's 15 songs.
It's going to have artwork that is not on the CD. So it'll be additional artwork. So,
All right.
So if you dig the vibe, be sure to
subscribe.
We're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.